Hey everybody, we got a last minute taping of a show today, and John Calderone, CPA, was nice enough at the last minute to call in and help us out. So today's show, 3 things: how to not irritate your CPA and how to keep your tax bill down. Enjoy the show. Hey, I'm Karen. I'm a former CPA, entrepreneur, business consultant with big ideas, and I'm the mom.
I'm Cadie. I'm a payroll specialist, business owner, and detail-oriented person that makes things happen. And I'm the daughter. Welcome to Cheers to Business.
John, welcome to the show.
Yeah, you really put me on the spot. I appreciate it, Karen. glad to be with you, though.
I am so glad you agreed to do this. I know how busy you are right now. You know, this is my first season out from 25 years of those things. And so I appreciate how hard you're working right now.
Yeah, I envy you a little bit right now. So enjoy not having the tax season pressure on your shoulders.
Well, thank you. You know, my new hashtag is, I have 2 of them: build, make, and grow, and hashtag do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do.
That's right. And I'm glad you're getting there.
Well,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, you have to be in your 50s to do it, but yeah. You do a lot of small businesses, right?
I do. That makes up probably 75% of my clientele, I think. It's just small business owners.
Great. I love small business. I always love small business. I have a couple of them. And what's the best thing you like about small business?
They're engaged in the actual business from all aspects of it. They get to learn the business a little bit better when you're a small business. You learn from whatever it is you're doing to the back side of it, the actual business side of it, the numbers. And those owners are just more, a lot of times, in tune, I think, with operations, because they have to be involved with all aspects of it.
That is such a good and appropriate answer. Just last week, I had 4 people in one of my mastery classes. That's my online education to, how to be in business. It just starts with the basic and progressive to teach people. Well, I had 4 people in a class. And after that class, I think we were doing KPIs. What are key performance indicators? And after that class, I texted Katie and I went, I feel so good. And she said, what happened? And I went, I saw light bulbs.
Yeah.
And the understanding, and they had their books up and they went, they had their aha moment. And that is so rewarding.
Well, and that's kind of what I enjoy on my side of it, is giving these clients the information for them to have and have those aha moments and see maybe they didn't have as good a year as they wanted to. Well, we've got it on paper right here. We now have good sets of books, something that you can take some information out of to make quality business decisions in the future. I guess I'm a nerd when it comes to having clean books. I'm pretty stickler about it. And I think if you're going to be a small business, you need to have clean books.
Totally.
Accurate books.
Absolutely. You cannot grow a business that you cannot manage.
That's right. And if you don't know your numbers, you don't know what to manage.
Exactly. We had just taught them the class before about how to read your financial statements. And so then we went into what things to look at. Now, I love percentages. What's your favorite report to help small businesses?
A cash flow statement, I know, is a little more complex for a lot of small businesses, but at the end of the day, that is your number one for, I would think, a small business, is where's the cash going? Where's it coming from? But as far as the percentages go, that is the number one indicator where things could be off, as far as just overspending or possibly fraud or theft or something like that. From year to year, most businesses stay within a certain range on the gross profit percentage, or even, utilities or something like that. If the percentages jumps way up or down, it's gonna tell you where the problems are.
I do agree with you on the cash flow, especially starting out, or even small business, even if you've been operating a couple of years, the cash flow, make or break is the cash flow. But I think if we can help people, as a CPA, I included myself in we right then, even though I don't have my license anymore, but, where'd my money go? There's only 3 places that it can come and go: operations, investing, or financing. So I think what they teach us in college with that statement of cash flows, it sounds so intimidating. So, where'd my money go? I think that's a great conversation.
Yeah, that's probably a whole other topic. But you get to the end of the year and tell your client they had a good year and they owe $30,000 in taxes, and they want to know, no way I made that much money. Where'd it go?
And I go, you got that new boat, right? You went on that vacation, right?
Well, you paid your debt down $50,000. You distributed $50,000. It goes, believe it or not. But you asked me the top 3 things that pisses off your accountant. And those are strong words, but I might not have phrased it like that because I don't really get ticked off. But 3 things that could help your accountant more efficiently prepare your tax return, which means cheaper tax prep fees, hopefully.
John, thank you so much, because I know I squirreled and we got off on cash flows and we got in and all this other stuff, and Cadie's not here and you brought me back on track. So I want to thank you very much.
I might have brought you back quicker than you wanted to go.
That's okay. You don't have time, and we wanted to do, we want to hit it today. So,
I apologize.
All right. So if we don't want to say piss off, I do have a funny story about that if you got just a minute.
Yeah, sure.
So I was talking with some Australians one time, and they said, how's the new building? And I went, oh, it's great. I said, but the sod won't grow, and it won't do this, it won't do that. And I kept saying sod, and he went, Karen, I can't do the accent. How could you? And I said, what? What'd I say? They said, sod. I said, what does sod mean? And he said, like, sod off. And I went, oh, God, no. So I've been telling him to go off himself this whole time, and I was talking about my grass. But
all right, so that's the Australians. I have to remember that if I speak to one.
Never say sod off to Australians.
All right.
All right, but let me get back. Okay, get back on target. So name 3 things that make everybody's tax season go better, doesn't tick you off, and keeps the bill down.
All right, so these are pretty basic. The first one is to accumulate your data and all your documents to a point where you feel like you've got everything. And now it doesn't have to be 100%, but try to bring it all in at once rather than sprinkle it in 1 or 2 documents here or there over the course of 2 or 3 weeks.
What I found very irritating was I called it piecemeal.
That's right.
And you get 1 email a day, so you never know when they're done.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I mean, it takes time. And end of the day, that's what most CPAs are selling is their time. So 1 email a day or something like that, then they're going to have to open the email and download the attachment and save it or print it or what have you. But and then you get 2 or 3 weeks down the road and they ask if they sent you everything. Well, let me go back and take inventory of what all you sent me.
It takes longer to go back through it too. That's
right. So and it's understandable. You're not going to have 100% of it every time you bring it in. Get it to if you're missing 1 or 2 documents and you bring it in and say, hey, I know I'm missing this piece or this piece. That's kind of understandable. But the sprinkling in just takes time, and one of those things that sometimes something might fall through the cracks because you sent 25 emails with 1 or 2 attachments on each one.
Right, or we go all the way through and prepare it. Or I did, you go through and you think you're done and you call them with the results and they go, but I didn't get you everything.
Exactly. Yeah, that's probably the worst there.
Yeah, then you got to redo everything. And it does cut their bill down $10,000, but, do they really want you to increase your bill? Because they said, well, I didn't tell you to finish it. And so it just gets hard. It does.
All right, number 2, this is kind of all throughout the year item here, but do not commingle your funds if at all possible. If you're a small business owner, you need to have separate checking accounts, separate credit card accounts, and you want to try to keep your business activity to those accounts there. And if you're using personal accounts for business purposes and vice versa, running a bunch of personal through the business, it cloudies up the water and it makes our job a lot more difficult at the end of the year. If we have 1 bank account or 2 bank accounts and a credit card that's strictly business, then we can feel pretty comfortable that we've got all the activity. We're not missing any expenses that you might have put on your personal account. And I know sometimes cash flow does get tight with small businesses and they may have money in their personal account, but it's better to move that money contribute some capital into your business and then pay out those expenses. If you do have to use the personal account, then you need to have a ledger throughout the year where you're making notes of these business expenses that are inside of your personal accounts.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I used to, it opens them up for liability too. You talk about the corporate veil. People say, what's the corporate veil? I said, well, besides being a John Grisham book, it's also that curtain you put up yourself why you became an entity in the first place. So if you poke your hand through to grab money, business money to pay a personal expense from the business, you created a hole. If you can go through that hole, then anybody else can too.
That's right. It opens you up to that liability that you created that LLC for or whatever entity it is.
Right. Okay, number 3.
The last one I would say would be available. Once we get the ball rolling on your tax return, you brought everything in you think you got, and we start the preparation process of it, there's always going to be questions that's coming up, and we're making lists on our side of questions we need to get back with the client on. Just try to be available and make us a priority of yours. I know small business owners are pulled in a million different directions. If the timeliness of answering our questions and getting back to us on the items we need to keep us from having to put the file down and wait 3 or 4 days or a week until we get an answer, if we can keep it on our desk and keep it moving, that would make us a lot more efficient and get the tax return done a little quicker.
All right. So bullet point, the top 3 things of how not to irritate your accountant and to keep your bill down.
All right. Top 3 was bring it all in at once. Don't commingle your funds with personal, and be available.
John, thank you so much. You came out, and you and I have not met formally. I know you and Cadie have a lot of mutual clients, and so I want to thank you so much for taking time. It's tax season, for God's sake, and you took time out for us. So I want to thank you and tell people how to get in touch with you.
Well, it was my pleasure, and you caught me in early enough tax season. It's wasn't that big of a headache, so no problem. I actually enjoyed it.
I'm glad you did.
Give me a call, 251-246-1911, Calderone Accounting.
All right. Are you on the web?
I'm not that tech savvy yet. I'm a small business owner myself that's just started 2 years in, so I've got goals to grow.
I like that. I'll teach you how to mind map that business.
There you go.
All right, John, thanks so much. And hey, cheers to small business. Cheers to not ticking off your accountant. And cheers to a happy tax season.
Yeah, and cheers to a no tax season to you.
Oh, thanks so much. All right, have a good one.
Y'all have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Please be sure to subscribe to Cheers to Business podcast on iTunes or anywhere else that you get your podcast. Visit our Facebook and be sure to give us a like. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss, shoot us an email from the website cheerstobusiness.com.